I'm always putting myself on mute.
Oh, okay. So you hear?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Alhamdulillah.
Because I have, for the class, for the Arabic class, I have put myself on mute at first.
You did the class with brother
Brother Malik.
Mm-hmm. You did your stuff. Alhamdulillah.
I was the only student.
Yeah, I think lately, her husband sold some of the sheep, so I think they got people out at her farm sacrificing today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was inside my phone too.
What?
You know how to be advertising certain stuff, and it was lambs sacrifice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they was for $75 and up.
$75 for a lamb? That's cheap.
That is?
For a lamb, yeah.
Oh.
$75 is all they was charging for a whole lamb?
And up, they said.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because lambs, they cost more than $75.
They said $75 and up. I don't know why. Maybe they want other people are doing it too. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. All right, did I share it on everything now? Is anybody here to see if I shared it? Let me look.
It's small.
Yeah, these people are too slow. Let me just. Where is this at? All right, inshallah, I guess I'm ready. Okay. Inna alhamdulillah, wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulallah. Welcome to our class, guys, on the signs of the last hour. And we've been discussing for this class the trials that will occur before the war against Islam. And as you guys can see, we are at that point now, because the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam explained everything that would happen from A to Z leading up to the war against Islam. And he even told us why Allah will bring about this war. And who can remember, just to catch us up to date on what we discussed the last time we met for this class, what did the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say are things that we will do as a nation that will lead up to the war against Islam? Anybody remember? What are some of the things that what he said we would do as a nation that would cause Allah to send the war against Islam? Can anyone remember?
We will give up our deen for the love of this dunya, this world. We will engage more in the fulus, the money, and we see that in the land where everyone's competing as far as building towers, competing to have more extravagant things, cars, exotic animals, just, to beat the Joneses or whatnot. Just striving and just doing and being greedy to want more. And we do that in this Ummah because in the eastern lands, in the Gulf, they have so much oil, so they walk around, so such, just flaunting themselves with the money and how much, because they know they have something that the rest of the world wants. So that is one of the signs.
Exactly. That's the main thing that will bring about the war, is the fact that we Muslims, instead of focusing on Allah and what our purpose in life is, we sell that all for the life of this world. We become distracted with the life of this world, with the money, with luxury and living a nice life in this world, that we don't think about the life to come and the hereafter. And we talked also about how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made supplication, asking Allah to not allow our enemies to destroy us as a result of our preoccupation with the life of this world. And what was Allah's response to him? Who can remember? What was Allah's response when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua, asking Allah to not allow the enemies of the Muslims to destroy us as a result of our preoccupation with the life of this world? What was Allah's response? Who can remember that hadith?
What I got, he will not destroy us with famine, and genocide by our enemies. But what will happen is our nations will turn against each other. That's how we will destroy each other. We'll rise up against each other.
Exactly. And this is something that the Muslims today, if they understood this hadith or knew of this hadith, they wouldn't be so devastated over what's going on in the world today against us as Muslims. I mean, it bothers us, yes. We're supposed to be concerned when anyone attacks any of us. But as far as taking it, to the extreme, we talked about how Allah tells us that we're supposed to be a nation of balance. We're a people of balance. We don't allow our emotions. We're not supposed to allow our emotions to get the better of us. Okay, it bothers us. Would you deal with him? No, here this idiot is. Lord have mercy.
I got it.
Did you ban him? I'm so sick of him. Yeah. Good Lord. I'm sorry, guys. That's another reason why Allah sent the war. Like, this is an example of this hadith. The Prophet. Oh, wait, hold on for a second. This idiot, he messed up my screen. Hold on. Idiot. Yeah. This Muslim. And it's so sad, is this dude is a Muslim. This is an example of that hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua, asking Allah to not allow his nation to be destroyed by our enemies as a result of us being negligent in our responsibilities and obligations to Allah. And Allah responded. He said, I will never, no matter how your enemies will try to destroy you and wipe you off the face of this earth, they will never be able to do that. And this is something that the Muslims today need to understand. We're balanced. Yes, it's supposed to bother us to see Muslims suffering all over the world, but we don't allow it to consume us to the point where we transgress the limits of Allah, like so many of you are doing, asking why, putting the power in the hand of the kuffar instead of in the hands, realizing that Allah is in control, because Allah has promised. He has promised he will never, ever, ever allow our enemies to destroy us. He will never allow our enemies to overpower us. He will never grant them victory, not ever. Even if they want to destroy the whole Middle East, if it was their desire, as the hadith says, if it were the non-Muslims' desire to genocide the entire Middle East, they wouldn't be able to lift a finger unless Allah allowed it. So what's happening in the world today is happening not because the Zionists have the power. It's happening because Allah has the power, and this is what he willed to be. And why did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam tell us that Allah wills war? To answer the question is so many of us who transgress the limits are asking why, if there's a God, why is a God allowing children to die and women to die and people to die? Allah tells us why. Why? Why does Allah send war? Who can remember the hadith? It's also in the Quran too. So for those of you who have never read a hadith in your life, which is most of you, because we're so busy, that's another thing. We're too concerned with learning how to speak Arabic, but we don't know anything about the hadiths, nothing about the companions. So for those of you who have memorized the Quran by heart, it's right there in the Quran too. Why does Allah say he sends war? Why is he allowing this to happen? Why is it that Allah is allowing the war against Islam? Why is he allowing it to happen? Who can answer that?
One of the reasons, inshallah, is because is to punish man.
Okay, good job.
As a punishment.
Okay, one of the reasons that Allah says he sends war is to cleanse the earth.
Yeah.
To cleanse the earth. To cleanse the earth of corrupt, bad people. And that means Muslims, people who call themselves Muslims, and people who don't. Because we talked about how what we've done. We all claim to be Muslims, but we're into the money. We're into the life of this world. What did he say? The prophet say, we're not doing our prayers. The prayers are becoming abandoned. The prayers are delayed. We went over those hadiths. The women are not even dressed properly. The women have clothes on, but they're still naked. Look at the Muslim women around you. Look at the Muslim women at the Eid. Look at the Muslim women at the mosque. They're dressed, but still naked. Men have taken on the characteristics of women. Look how many brothers are not working. They're at home, but they're making their wives go out and work. The roles have been reversed. All of that is happening. Like the prophet said, when you live to see all this, know that Allah will bring war. So the war is not from the Zionists. Don't get it twisted. Hashtag don't get it twisted. And you brothers out there who are famous speakers, y'all have to stop all this Zionist crap. And y'all need to speak the truth. Allah sent this war. And you brothers know why. Because many of you are a cause of it. Especially when we hear about all this molestation that's going on in the masajids with our children in the Muslim schools. Oh yeah, you brothers know why. So stop blaming the Zionists. making all these videos where you crying. Oh yeah. The brothers on the videos crying about Gaza are the ones that's allowing the sexual molestation to go on in our Islamic schools with our children, boys being molested by men in our Islamic schools. But you on TV, on YouTube, crying about Gaza. Cry me a river. Like Justin Timberlake say, cry me a river. You're the cause. So the war is from Allah for many reasons. One of the reasons he says he will send it when you live to see child molestation, when you live to see the Muslims' rights violated, when you live to see, what was it that we talked about, that big hadith the other day? The what? The amana. What's the amana? Who can remember?
The trust.
Exactly. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you live to see the amana, the trust between you and Allah violated, know that that war, Allah is getting ready to send war. So it ain't come from the Zionists. It came from Allah. They're just the tools he used. And he said he will send it to you from your enemies. Allah says that. The Prophet said it. The war will come from your enemies. Because you Muslims have turned on each other, oppressing each other, molesting each other. You have violated the trust between each other, the trust between you and Allah. So expect for Allah to bring about the repercussion, his war, and he's going to bring it through your enemies. Exactly. This is it. Y'all see it happening. It's on the news. World War III. Oh, yeah. It's going to be called WW3, the big one. Oh, yeah. It's in the making. It's been in the making since back in the late 90s. It started in the Bush regime. I told y'all it didn't start October 7th. Don't get it twisted. It didn't start October 7th. It started during the Bush regime. And it's expanded, like the prophet said. It will all begin at that part of the world with Iraq, with Syria, Afghanistan, Bosnia, Lebanon, and then finally Jerusalem. And then after Jerusalem, it'll expand to the rest of the world. It'll go to Europe. It'll go to America and Australia. This is just the beginning. Don't get it twisted. But I'm crazy. You know, people think Laila crazy. You know, sometimes you can be so truthful, you know, and so clear that people think you got a mental problem. That bothers me. All right, but anyway, yeah, and I do got a mental problem. When I think about all these hadiths and how they're happening, and I see them playing out as a daya, and I see the Muslims in the state that they are, oh yeah, it'll make you crazy. The prophet thought he was crazy too. You know, it'll make you think you crazy. You feel like a stranger. You're the only one that sees what's going on. Where's the rest of the people to see what's going on? Why aren't the Muslims changing the condition of themselves? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also told us what to do when we live to see the wars coming. What did the Prophet tell? If we live to see this happening, what should we do? Should we pick up flags and wrap ourselves up in flags and go to make Hajj and walk around the Kaaba with signs protesting Allah's qadr? Is that what we supposed to do? Boycott the qadr of Allah, protest the qadr of Allah? Is that what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us to do when we live to see this stuff? What did he tell us to do when we live to see the genocide beginning? Although it won't be genocide. Allah of his mercy said, even though we bad, even though we're corrupt, even though we brought this on ourselves as a nation, they'll never be able to wipe us out. Okay? But what did Allah tell us to do if you live to see it happen? What are we supposed to be doing? Are we supposed to be boycotting his decree? Or
No,
what are we supposed to do?
We should be making dua, keeping close to him.
And what else? We should be making dua, and what else? It's more than that. What did the prophet say we're supposed to do when we see this happen? Is it protest? Is it boycott? What is it that the prophet told us to do if you live to see this happen? Know that you brought it on yourself. And can nothing change or stop the qadr of Allah? What does that hadith say? Sahih Muslim, by the way. Oh yeah, Sahih Muslim. What does Allah say? Know this, O Prophet of Allah. Nothing can change or stop my decree. When I send the war, nothing can change it. Nothing can stop it. So what did he tell us to boycott Allah's decree? Did he tell us to protest against Allah's decree? You do all that stuff, it makes you a kafir, by the way. And that's another reason why Allah bringing it. What's the second reason Allah brings war? The first is to cleanse the earth of bad, corrupt people, Muslim and non-Muslim. Exactly. The second reason, as Sister Aisha said, is to so we can recognize who the hypocrites are amongst us. And we realize that there ain't but a few believers. Oh, I see a bunch of them. I ain't gonna sit there and call people out. We don't do that. We don't call each other hypocrites. But we can look at the behavior and the actions that this ummah is exhibiting today as a result of Allah's promise. This is Allah's promise to us because he told the prophet in the 6th century that this would happen. And he said why. So this is Allah's promise to us. And we can see the hypocrites amongst us. We can see how we're behaving, how we're acting. My God, people are protesting against Allah's decree. Oh my God, the fire worshipers of this nation. Okay, good job. What's the answer? Good job, Jamila. What did the prophet say? What did Allah say to do if you live to see him bring this war? Make dua. And first make dua, and also the main thing, check yourself. No, it ain't about just being, that too. Check yourself and ask yourself, what have you done? Are you a cause of this war or are you not? That's what you Muslims don't get. We should all be doing a lot of self-reflection right now. Change yourself. Stop being into the life of this world and turn back to the Sunnah. Stop blindly following scholars and follow the prophet with the understanding of those companions. Do away with that mathab understanding. Do away. What did the prophet say in that hadith? His people, the Persians, some of them, they will come and some of them will replace you. And then some of you will be foolish enough to follow them too. To the point where you forget about me. That's the mathabs. So this is what you Muslims are supposed to be doing, not protesting against Allah's decree. The fact that y'all doing that shows that you are not a believer. Okay? Not boycotting Allah's decree. Again, that shows you ain't a believer. But what you should be doing is sitting down, learning your deen, taking this religion more seriously. Stop playing with Islam. Ask yourself, what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing? What am I not doing that I should be doing? Learning your deen, attaching yourself to the people of knowledge, putting aside your personal dislikes. You don't like that brother there because he's passionate. You don't like that brother there because you don't like his accent. Put all that personal crap aside and realize that brother that you don't like is telling you what you need to hear. Not that one over there that's on YouTube crying, and while he's crying, his community is molesting children like the Catholics do. Little boys. Oh yeah, choir boy. Choir Muslim boys being molested. But he's on YouTube crying about Gaza. Y'all better get it together, Muslims. The signs are here. The signs are here. The big sign, the war against Islam is here. So today what I'm going to do is continue. I'm going to go over some more of the things that the prophet said will be happening at the time that Allah sends the war against Islam. And you guys can see all these hadiths are authentic. They're all from Bukhari and Muslim. All these hadiths that I give y'all are straight from Bukhari and Muslim. I can give you more, but I try to keep it real so that I can't be attacked by the ones that keep like to come in my website, like that Ashari dude that keeps coming in here playing in my Zoom room. Okay? So these hadiths are all authentic, and you guys listen to them and read them, and you can see this stuff is happening. And then it's no mystery why a person like me is like I am. A lot of you are asking, Sister Laila, you seem so down. I am down. I am very much down. The day of the Eid, while a lot of y'all were out partying, Laila was sitting here looking at, wow, look at the world, man. Look what's happening. Oh, wow, what can I do to better myself? You know, what can I do to change and save my soul from the hellfire? Because death can come at any moment. Forget the war. Then that bomb can go off any day in America. But hey, I could drop dead tomorrow. You know, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection these past couple days. You know, I get sad this time of year. Oh, yeah. 'Tis the season. The Hajj and Ramadan season. 'Tis the season. So Laila gets kind of, you know, philosophical. Is that the word? Philosophical. And I try to correct myself and try to make things happen that ain't happening, that should be happening in my life, or get rid of those things that are happening that shouldn't be happening. It's about changing. So Allah won't get angry at me and send a lightning bolt down to pop me in the head. Hello. All right. So let's look at these hadiths for today, and you guys can see that all of these, and these are all more hadiths like what we went over last week, of things that the prophet said will be happening right before the war. And you can see we're there. It's all here. So let's put the PowerPoint up. Yeah, Brother Ibrahim. I'm getting ready. The Brother Ibrahim asked him, yeah, I got PowerPoint. Don't worry. He said he's going to screenshot it all because he wants to print this out. Yeah, you can print it out for your masjid. Yeah, Brother Ibrahim. And by the way, that's for anybody. He wants to know, can he print my PowerPoint out for the mosque? Yes, yes, yes. You can do that. I want you to, because we need to get the true Islam out there. We got to stop all this whatever this weakness that this nation is doing, you know, and it's protesting, boycotting the qadr of Allah and all that dumb stuff, and come back to the qadr of Allah, come back to reality and do what the prophet said do. Make dua for the Muslims and for yourself. Change yourself, because Allah is never going to change the condition of a people until the people change the condition of themselves. The Muslims today are in a bad state. We have to change the condition of ourselves, and we're making no attempts at doing that. And you think that some kafir American government is going to make the war disappear? He ain't got the power or the control. Allah does. And I'm telling y'all, that war ain't going nowhere. It ain't going away. It didn't stop with Saddam. It didn't stop with Kuwait. Desert Storm. The Taliban. Y'all forgot all that? It never stopped. It continued. It didn't stop with Idi Amin. Oh yeah, y'all forgot about Africa. It didn't stop with Idi Amin. He was Muslim. Oh yeah. Yeah. It ain't stopped. It's doing just like the prophet said, starting in the east, making its way. And the Muslims still don't see the writing on the wall. We're too caught up in this dunya, our children. What does Allah say? Your love for this world, your love for your wives, you brothers out there, 2, 3, 4, alhamdulillah. But what are you doing for Allah? Your children making babies and all of this. Thinking that I'll keep making babies to increase my progeny and my whatever these men be on. I don't know. Men trip. Just like women. And you sisters into the bling, bling, bling. It's the Kardashian lifestyle and all that stupidity. Oh, yeah. Keep on. All right. Yeah. But yeah, you can make copies of it, brother. Let me share the PowerPoint. Yeah, I'll make a big screen too for you. And let me take this. Yeah, hold on. Let me take this down so when you do screen share, hold on. Thank you, brother. May Allah bless you too. It's nice to hear some kind words for a change. Everybody needs, good deeds, a kind word every now and then, especially when you're a woman alone like Layla. I need to hear somebody say, hey, what's up? One of my brothers called today, one I ain't heard from in years. It made me feel good. He's crazy like me. He's got my quirkiness and he's got my nose. We look alike with this. Yeah, he's quirky like I am. People don't get him like they don't get me. All right, let's do this. Let's put this up. No, it wasn't Issa. It's my brother Hodge. You know him. His brother from my mosque, guys. Yeah, Hodge called me today. Yeah, you know Hodge don't never call nobody. Oh, you saw him up at Ukbar yesterday? He was at Ukbar? Yeah. I didn't feel like driving, I only go to 2 mosques, guys. Y'all know I have that social anxiety. These brothers here know me because we grew up together. Yeah, and I live an hour away from them. And I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like getting up 6 o'clock in the morning, driving an hour away to Masjid Uqba. The mosque down the street from me had a big celebration thing, but I just, my anxiety. I drove up there twice. It was packed with people, man. It's a lot of Muslims that go to that mosque. That's a big mosque. It's brand new too. But you should have seen my anxiety. It was a lot of men, so I didn't know them people. No, I didn't know any. You been there before? Oh, yeah, Carmela called me. Hold on for a minute, guys. This is one of the guys I grew up with. He's Mukhtar and we all know each other. Yeah, Carmela called me. She said that next Eid, she's going to come and take me. Yeah, y'all, they know that I can't go to strange places. That's a Muslim woman anyway. I can't go to some place I've never been before, especially all them men. That's a large community. Oh, yeah. Well, Carmela said, inshallah, the next Eid, she's going to come and go to the Eid with me, inshallah. I just need somebody to go with me. That's all. All right. Once I get in there, I'll be fine. I'll be cracking my jokes and being the Laila Nasheeba. They'll probably say, Laila Nasheeba. And I'll be like, hey, what's up, girl? Hey, keep it real. Fist bump. Shake a hand. Yeah, I just need somebody to go with. But yeah, next time, inshallah, I'm going to go with Carmela. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's put the PowerPoint up. We'll chat later. Give your wife my salams and also kiss the babies for me. Oh, you saw my mother too? Oh, alhamdulillah. Yeah, Issa took her there. Yeah. Oh, may Allah bless you. Give my salams to your family, Aki. Okay, let's get to the class. I'm sorry. By the way, all this will be edited out. Make sure y'all go to the playlist and get the edited version. All right. He said, Laila, you still crazy. Yep. The people that know me know I've been crazy and silly like Hodge. Hodge is quirky like me too. Yeah, always a jokester. Okay, let's put the PowerPoint up. Okay, here we go. MashaAllah. He saw my mother. Alhamdulillah. Okay, hold on for a second, guys. Let's share with Zoom first. All right, here we go. Oh, wrong one. Wait a minute. Wrong PowerPoint. Where is it at? Trials before. Okay, here we go. Can y'all see this on Zoom? Okay, let me put the PowerPoint up here. Okay, here it comes, Ibrahim. I'm getting ready to show it now. Hold on. For you guys here. Time trials before the war. There we go. Here we go. Can y'all see it now? This is the right one. Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me make it. Yeah, this Zoom room gets in the way. All right, here we go. So today we're going to speak about some more hadiths in which the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam spoke about things that we would be engaging in as Muslims that will lead to the war against Islam that Allah is sending, not no Zionists. Okay? And you can see if these things are happening, which you will see that they are, all of them. And by the way, remember, some of the things have happened. Remember, as Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, some of these signs have begun and will continue until the war happens. Okay? Let's see if you can recognize which ones have happened in the past and are still happening. Now, again, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the calamities that Allah will send to us as a result of us deviating. Why? Because we are deviating away from the traditional Islam. That's why all this is happening. The war and everything else, because we as a nation have deviated away from the traditional Islam. And what is the traditional Islam? The traditional Islam is what the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came with. And it's the understanding of this religion that the companions had. Most Muslims today are not practicing Islam with the understanding of the original companions. Most Muslims today instead are practicing Islam with a madhab understanding, or with a sheikh's understanding, or some other stuff other than the companions. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, when this happens, we will divide up into different sects and different groups, and all those sects and groups will be in the hellfire. The only Muslims that will be free of that are those who stick to the traditional Islam, and they will only be a few. And this is true. How many Muslims today are truly living the Sunnah? Very few. So as a result, the Prophet said, Allah will send all kinds of calamities, including landslides, earthquakes, hail, and even the transformation of people into animals. And he said, why will this happen? Again, because not only have we deviated away from the traditional Islam, but we are so comfortable in our mispractice of it that we'll openly commit sins, such as drinking alcohol, taking intoxicants. We got Muslims today who call themselves people of the Sunnah, and they smoke marijuana. How many of you have seen the different fatwas out there? There's even fatwas out there saying that smoking weed is okay. Also, the prophet said the men will wear silk. We're so caught up making women think that they're supposed to be zombies, when there's nothing in Islam that says a woman is supposed to look like a zombie. The prophet's wives, none of them were a zombie, nor were his daughters. They wore the most beautiful clothing, and they were beautiful in their appearance publicly. But instead, the men need to focus on themselves. We got Muslim men wearing silk. How many of you went to the Eid prayer yesterday and you saw the brothers dressed in silk? Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this nation will commit zina openly. That's the problem. It's all over YouTube. The sexual molestation that's going on in the Muslim schools down there in Texas. Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Texas, USA, and it's other places too, but that's the ones that's public. Also, what's going on with a lot of you brothers? Let's talk about it. You brothers on the East Coast and some of you on the West Coast. Let's keep it real. How many of y'all doing it in those offices? Hello, we done heard about it. Sexual relations, adultery in the office inside the masjid. Subhanallah. Oh yeah, we done heard it. It's all being covered up, but we know what's going on. I got some victims here. So zina will be open. How many of your children are fornicating, adulterating, and ain't married? How many of you brothers are fornicating with girlfriends? We got the dating websites. Another famous speaker invented his own dating app. We got dating apps, and these men call themselves muftis and sheikhs, but they got a dating app. You a mufti. First of all, who would give themselves a title such as that? The prophet would tell you, change your name. Don't ever call yourself by a name that you can't live up to. You're a mufti and you got a dating app? Are you crazy? Open sins. Also, riba, buying houses and taking out interest loans, and you call it Islamic guidance. You call it Islamic guidance and Islamic this and Islamic that, but it's still interest. So the prophet said we would be doing all kinds of corruptions, transgressing the limits of Allah openly to the point like it is. And that's why Allah is sending war and earthquakes and landslides and solar eclipses. You guys know that that's a sign of Allah's anger. Whenever you see the moon eclipse, the sun eclipse, that's why the prophet said, run to the mosque and make dua and give in charity, because that's a sign of Allah's anger. How many solar eclipses have we had in the past year? 3? And you wonder why Allah sent the war. We men, we women do not look at the signs of Allah. As Allah says in the Quran, we're too ignorant to recognize his signs. Listen to what the prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. At the end of time, there will be landslides, earthquakes, hail from heaven, and the transformation of people into animals. This will occur when musical instruments. Hello, what's the brother's name? Cat Stevens. What's up, New York, Brooklyn? The Brooklyn Sisters, the rap singers of Brooklyn. These Muslim rap groups. When musical instruments and female singers become widespread. How many of these you listen to that Quran put out by a bunch of sisters from Malaysia? Y'all know we can't do that. You go to YouTube and play this Quran recitation by a bunch of women from Malaysia singing the Quran. These are the signs of the last hour. We're doing all of these sins. And that's what the prophet said. When you live to see this, know that Allah will send war. This is the Bukhari and Muslim hadith. When you live to see all these things happening, they're all happening at the same time. Know that the war against Islam is near. And also the drugs, intoxicants, using marijuana to take away your headache. And what about the transformation of people into animals? Is that happening already? Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. Dr. Asim was talking about that in his class. Look how many babies. They just had a baby born with horns. Some woman somewhere here in America just gave birth to a baby and it came out with horns like an animal. Look how many children are being born with wolfman disease. Now, y'all know I like a wolf, but I don't want to look like one. Either make me a complete wolf or leave me human. I don't want to be half wolf and half human. I'd be a big, beautiful silver wolf. I'd be a silver wolf with light brown eyes. But don't make me no half human and half wolf. There's a lot of people that suffer with that wolf syndrome. They got hair all over their face like a wolf and over their body parts. So this is all happening. And there's many other hadiths like this. For example, Aisha radiallahu anha, she said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, amongst this nation, there will be landslides and the transformation into animals and stones sent from the heaven. And she said, O Prophet of Allah, will we be destroyed? Will Allah destroy us all, even though there's a few righteous people amongst us? Guess what the Prophet's answer was? He said, yes, if the evil is prevalent. So again, our destruction ain't from the Zionists. You ain't got to worry about Israel. Y'all better stop worrying about Israel. You better stop worrying about America. Y'all giving Israel, America, too much power. Y'all putting too much hope and trust in Russia. You better put the power and trust in Allah because He's the one bringing it. Okay? Also, in another version of this hadith, Aisha said, a man amongst the Muslims said, O Prophet of Allah, when will that happen? That Allah will send all this destruction. And the Prophet said, when female singers and musical instruments become widespread amongst my nation and much intoxicants. Oh yeah, we get high. Look at the hookah shops. A hookah shop on every corner here in America. The hookah shops. Okay? Muslim owned and operated. All right? Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this war, when that war comes, another sign will be that the people amongst this nation will stay up at night eating and drinking and entertaining themselves all night. And in the morning, they will have turned into pigs and monkeys. Now, this is an example of the hadith. This is Ibn Abbas, where this is one of the things that happened in the past and is still happening. Remember, Allah tells us the story in the Quran as to how there were a people, they stayed up all night eating and drinking and partying. And then Allah transformed them into monkeys and pigs. So that already happened and it's still happening. Look over into the Gulf area. It's too hot to do anything in the daytime. So what do? They party at night. You go to the Emirates, you go to Kuwait, you go to Bahrain, you go to Oman, those parts of the world, everybody sleeps during the day. At nighttime, that's when the malls open up because that's when it's cooler. They all go to the malls. They go to the coffee shops. They go to the internet cafes. And they hang out, eating, drinking, partying. And then in the morning, they act like pigs. They can't get to the mosque. They wallow around in their beds, throwing their vomit up. Some of them urinating on themselves in their beds like pigs and monkeys. Then they sleep all day, then get up at night and do it again. So this is already happening. It happened in the past and it's still going on. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said there will be people amongst my nation who will not only commit zina, but will allow it. How many of you allow your daughters and your sons to have sex in your own house? Your son, your daughter is not even married, but you allowing them to have sex and right in your own house. My nation will allow us zina. They will allow silk. Silk is haram for men. It's lawful for women to wear. But look at some of these famous brothers. Y'all don't know, may not know. Look at some of the ties these brothers are wearing. Some of the ties that these famous brothers are wearing are made out of silk. They will also allow wine and intoxicants, music. You go to some of those ISNA and ICNA conferences, they have the Muslim rap singers there with playing their drums and playing their tambourines and singing and stuff. This is supposed to be an Islamic conference. Look at our Muslim weddings. You know we don't do that stuff. You at the wedding, not only do you have a full course band, but you allowing the women and men to dance together and intermingle and shake a tail feather on the floor. We're allowing that. We're permitting this. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, some people will camp beside a mountain and their shepherd will come to them with their sheep and ask them for something, and they will say, come back to us in the morning. Then over a night, Allah will destroy them and cause the mountain to fall on them, and some he will transform into monkeys and pigs, and they will stay that way to the day of judgment. That's the story that's in the Quran that already happened. They steal monkeys and pigs, and their offsprings are monkeys and pigs to this day. You might have seen them on the, what's that channel? Maybe some of those gorillas, maybe some of those pigs that they're filming on those nature channels are their descendants. Oh, yeah. Okay. And again, earthquakes and landslides happen every day. Y'all know that. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us that there will even be one earthquake that will swallow up an entire army. Listen to what Bukaira, the wife of El-Kaka, said. She said, I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the minbar saying, "O people, if you hear of an army being swallowed up by the earth, then know that the hour is at hand." This already happened too. In fact, this has happened more than once. Okay? More than once. More than once. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us some of the places in which these earthquakes and these hail from heaven will occur. For example, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "O Anas, the people will build cities, and one of them will be called El-Bahr. If you pass by it or enter it, then beware of its salt marshes, and beware of its pasturage, and its palm trees, and its marketplaces, and its doors, and beware of its rulers. You should stay on its outskirts, because in there will be landslides and earthquakes, and Allah will send stones from the heaven, and people will be transformed into monkeys and pigs overnight." And again, this already happened. That's that story. And finally for today, again, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked by the companions, what is it that will make the people abandon the traditional Islam to this point? And the Prophet said, it's the earth, the money, and what the earth wields. In fact, we have this hadith, whereas the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Afwan Malik during the battle of Khaybar, which Mukhtar talked about the other day, he told him, count 6 things that will happen before the last hour. And he listed them. And one of them was money will be in such an abundance that a man will be given 100 dinars and still won't be content with that. This has already happened. Look at the Gulf. That area in the 6th century was the poorest part of the world. Nobody wanted it. But now that part of the earth is the richest part. You know, money is nothing to them. They spend money and waste it on animals, walking around with lions and tigers as their pet. They throw money away. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, money will increase and become so abundant that a wealthy man will be concerned as to who he can give his charity to. He will give it to a person, they will say, sorry, you should have came yesterday. I don't need it today. This is already happening. It's been happening. Kuwait is one of the richest countries in the world. The Emirates, Bahrain, Oman, those are rich countries. They got money. Subhanallah. So here you can see, guys, all these different signs that are already playing out. And these are all the signs that will be happening before the war. And I'm going to end with this hadith from Haritha. He said, I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, give in charity, because one day a man will walk around with his charity, and the one he gives it to will say, if you had come to me yesterday, I would have accepted it, but now I don't have no need of it. So that's how rich that part of the world is today. Very few of them are in need of zakat. Okay? So, subhanAllah, when you learn this religion, guys, and this is the whole purpose of me teaching this series, is to try to give you Muslims the right direction. We have to stop blaming man for the power of Allah. We have to stop putting Allah's power in the hands of man. Everything is cause and effect. Allah is so merciful. Like he says, I don't send my wrath unless I had just cause. There's just cause for this war. We have deviated away from true Islam. We have made a mockery of our religion when it comes to marriage, when it comes to divorce, when it comes to raising our children, when it comes to anything, praying. We have do our prayers. We've made a joke of our way of life. So now we're paying the consequences. We're suffering the consequences. Rightly so. As Allah says, everything good comes from me. And everything bad that befalls you comes from me too, as a result of what you brought upon yourself. So change the condition of yourself, because I will never change a people until they change the condition of themselves. So I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments? Yes. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button. Yes, tomorrow is Tuesday. Yes. My class at 6. Wait a minute. Yes, I have my 6 o'clock class and 9. Yeah. I don't know if Dr. Ali is back. Let me, brothers here is asking for Dr. Ali's class. Let me send Dr. Ali a text. I think he's still in Turkey. He was filming a movie. Let me make sure. Yeah. Yeah, I just sent him a text message. He'll let me know. But yeah, definitely you have my 6 o'clock class and my 9 o'clock class. Inshallah, tomorrow. Any other questions or comments? Are these hadiths clear to you guys? Okay. Let me see. Make sure. Hold on. This is in my way. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to close out for tonight. Inshallah, I'll see everybody here tomorrow. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu